Amazon is laying off 10,000 employees and losing up to $5 billion per year on their voice assistant, or at least that's what you're going to read in articles online. Those reports are causing many of you to be concerned about Amazon's voice assistant and whether or not you should use Amazon smart products. But I'm going to explain how not only are most of those reports sensationalizing the situation, but also how Amazon's voice assistant is less of that loss than you think, and how it's now central to the company. In fact, I'll show you how it's driving massive amounts of revenue, and the reports of it losing $5 billion a year are a simplified statement that reflects more of the world of stocks than it does in the health of the business behind the technology. I'm not saying it's going to be totally rosy for their voice assistant and for your home going forward, because Amazon is making some tough decisions, and I will tell you about some of those today. That way you're not guessing or jumping to another smart home platform just because an article said it was the end. Hello automators, thanks for tuning in again. I'm Brian from Automate Your Life, and you know I love to save time with home automation products, but if we're buying into a dying system, then all we're doing is causing ourselves more work later. Now, Amazon is by no means alone in laying off employees, especially not in the tech sector. And I'll explain more as we go in the video how Apple and Google are already affected and how we will see pullback in similar ways from those companies too. Specifically with Amazon, the layoffs aren't all directly related to the voice assistant team. Here are 3 ways that I have seen these layoffs split out already. The devices group is being hit heavily with these layoffs, but they are not the only group, and the devices group covers much more than Amazon's voice assistant. In case you haven't noticed, Amazon makes a few products. Number 2, it's not just in the US. Here in Canada, there were significant layoffs as part of these, and I've seen that around the world. These are remote groups that supported in different ways, not necessarily directly to the core of the voice assistant. And number 3, when the layoffs actually do touch the voice assistant team, there's a split in how it's being done. A lot of this information comes from the folks over at voicebot.ai. Brett Kinsella has been working within the voice assistant community for many years, and what he did is very nice. He offered to connect people losing their jobs with companies that worked in the voice recognition space, and in doing so, he had large numbers of people talk to him about what teams they were coming from, and he compiled all that information for us all. So here are the groups that we have confirmed layoffs within: ambient, speech, and proactive experiences; games, Luna, and communications; guard, routines, and video; auto and the device design group; skills kit and the marketing team; and health and wellness. There are 2 ways that I would split these groups. The first is in terms of revenue. Many of these aren't making any money directly for Amazon. It's safe to say that anything in an economic downturn that isn't directly providing revenue is at risk. So the entire left side of this table would be at risk. The other way I would split these out is in terms of things that are mostly done, or at least done for now. These are things that can move from a real development effort to more of a maintenance effort. So if we take all those things that were already at risk because of revenue, and we add in all these things that Amazon can rest a bit on, then we have a lot of things that are easy to see that Amazon could reduce investment in. And that is what they are doing. They have reduced the investment in the development of some of their newer features, or some of those aspirational goals that weren't driving revenue. Now, some of the larger layoffs are within the ambient, communications, and the device design groups. Most of the other groups are actually seeing smaller reductions that won't eliminate a lot there. But what does this actually mean to you, the user? Well, as of today, number 1, ambient was this aspirational idea that your home would react to many situations and yet you wouldn't know that it was doing it. That program looks like it will be shuttered entirely, and I think Amazon will rely more on direct control by you for a time. Number 2, Amazon had their voice assistant available in hands-free mode on many phones. but that will go away as they are removing that feature. You would have to have the app opened now to bring up their voice assistant, at least going forward. Number 3, Amazon Music was changed to what is essentially a radio station. You can no longer pick songs, and Amazon will just shuffle through whatever is similar to what you asked for. This is intended to cause you to upgrade to their unlimited subscription. That's it so far, although it is fair to say that there will be impacts to how many products Amazon will release, and some of their products they will pull back on. Health and wellness is something that Amazon has continually struggled to gain a foothold with, and I think the new Halo Rise looked very nice, but I don't think Amazon will continue selling that for more than a year. I think they will probably pull out of Halo entirely and most of the wearables that they sell, which is a pattern they've been doing for years. Remember the Echo Ring? Me neither. The health and wellness feature in the app will probably be put on the shelf and won't do much, at least for the foreseeable future. And I think you can look at Blink as a company that Amazon will try to fold into Ring. This just seems like a product lineup that is splitting the market internally on Amazon's website. So why not just sell Ring, where they are making much better money and have much better subscription penetration in their other core products? As in, Ring subscriptions are being sold by Echo products and now even Eero products. Blinks aren't. But it's not like the rest of the product lineup is changing, and it's not like Amazon is stopping investment and work on their voice assistant. This is the pattern that companies take when they are investing a lot in something that is intended to grow the rest of their business. And not all of it is working. So when you think about the future of Amazon's voice assistant, there will absolutely be some slowdown in feature releases. The releases will be focused more on the core of the business and what is providing profit and value to Amazon. So you will absolutely see more of the movements like we saw with Amazon Music, because that shifts the profitability in Amazon's music service whenever you buy a speaker. These aren't fun things for me to tell you are going to occur, but that's what will happen now that Amazon is becoming more focused on actually taking a profit from this. And that's the funny thing. Many people think when you buy an Echo speaker, you're providing Amazon with all of this profit. That's actually not the case. And Amazon they sell most of their Echo speakers at a loss. They are doing this to get into as many homes as is possible. But when the economy turns like it is, they have to look at what they're doing because they can't have their stock fall off the cliff. But this is where it's important to understand how much the voice assistant is supporting the rest of Amazon's business. Here's a short list of the connections that Amazon makes with their voice assistant to the rest of their business. Amazon Prime, which you'll find in almost everything I state later in this list. Amazon Music, Video, Books, and Audible. All of those are subscription services that drive massive profitability. Shopping on Amazon, which is the core Amazon business, it's becoming more and more used with Miss A. Amazon Photos through Echo Shows, the Ring security system, Eero's Wi-Fi system, Blink, Halo, and now iRobot. Plus Amazon Basics, where we have new smart products constantly coming out. Amazon also sells voice assistants for other companies now, like Hey Disney. It's an example of how Amazon is selling their voice assistant repackaged for other companies, and they're doing a similar thing with BMW. But here's the biggest one. Did you know that Amazon's most profitable business is their cloud service? And guess what works best with Amazon's voice assistant for integrations from smart home companies? Amazon AWS, their cloud service. There are skills and there are integrations and there are companies that are learning to work with AWS today. The skill store is turning into an app store, and we all know how much money Apple and Google make from those stores. Amazon is setting the same thing up, except they own the cloud infrastructure that lots of this is based on. So not only are they charging companies to build their cloud services, but they are charging monthly for those cloud services, and those cloud services work for their voice assistant. And for all of these other services that Amazon has, and they're gonna make a cut on it all as companies try to make that part of their business profitable. This will power the future of voice purchasing, and all of this is largely set up. And I'm not suggesting that their voice assistant is driving all of this revenue through their cloud service, but don't think for a second that Amazon's voice assistant isn't contributing to all of these businesses. And we could take a $5 billion operating loss on the operating side of that part of the business with the high profits in these other parts of the business, and things even out. So we will see more shifts in terms of the subscriptions like Amazon Music. I would bet that the Prime Video service gets a similar shift next year. We will see less offerings in terms of new product lineups, but Amazon has already shown us what they're gonna do with the savings in terms of stopping that internal product development. They will go out and buy a health and wellness company and integrate that like they have with Ring and iRobot. I think we are less likely to see those products go on sale. We have traditionally seen their speakers go on sale at like half off all the time. I think you better prepare for 30% off offers. And they will probably take another couple of percentage points away from influencers like me. So by the way, maybe you should become a member like these fine folks. I think Amazon will turn the tables on companies that are creating integrations with them. And I think they will find more profitability in things like skills. The skill store will be more focused on profit and more on transactions, with less help to companies for basic skills that no one uses and no one makes anything for them existing. We will see a slowdown in some of these peripheral features that most of you didn't care about anyways. And we will see less investment in those aspirational goals. But we will not see the core offering of Amazon's voice assistant change. And I have to address the elephant in the room, because I've seen people talking about running over to Apple because that's gonna be cheaper or something, or running off to Google. Both of those companies' CEOs have already come out and described similar situations, but they haven't been so forthcoming with numbers, and the layoffs haven't occurred. Although I have heard rumblings of buyouts coming to Google. I don't know whether we will see that at Apple, but their CEO specifically stated that they will be re-evaluating where investment is, and I think we will see a similar reduction in investment in the advanced features of voice assistants and the peripherals that support them. So I don't think either of those places are definitely safe, and that you should start shifting your home to them. This is a situation I will watch, so understand that I will provide you that feedback as we go forward. If you are truly worried about the situation at Amazon and you feel it might get too expensive, then a great video for you to watch is my video called Smart Home 101, which gives you all the tools you need to design your smart home in a simple, effective, and reliable way. You can watch that video up on screen now, right there. Otherwise, thanks for watching today, and of course, don't hate, automate.